The Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi kicked off the G20 summit with a hot global issue, the current situation in the Middle East. He has condemned the civilian killings in the wake of Israel-Hamas war and called for persistent and timely humanitarian aid to the region. India has developed close strategic ties with Israel since the 1990s, but also has long-standing relations with Arab countries. It's very important that the humanitarian aid reaches timely and continuously. It's important to ensure that the Israeli-Hamas conflict does not become a regional conflict. Modi says New Delhi abhors terrorism. We believe that terrorism is unacceptable to us. Civilians' death happening anywhere must be criticized. We welcome the move to release the hostages. We hope that all hostages will be released soon. Russian President Vladimir Putin has also blasted the international community's double standards on the application of international law and touched on the current wars in Ukraine and Gaza. I understand that this war with Ukraine, death of people can't be shocking. But what about the state coup in Ukraine in 2014, which was followed by the war of the Kiev regime against their own people in Donbass? Is it not shocking? What about the elimination of civilians in Gaza? Is it not shocking? What about the surgeons having to operate on children, having to use scalpel on children's bodies without anesthetic? Is it not shocking? Or the words of the General Secretary of the UN saying that Gaza is turned into a huge cemetery for children. South Africa has been represented by International Relations and Cooperation Minister Dr. Naledi Pandor at the virtual session.
It's always desirable that when you have a gathering of heads of state, all the heads of state are in attendance, but it's not always feasible and it's not always possible. It does not take away the importance and the significance of that particular gathering. The commitments that the ministers of foreign affairs who represent their respective heads of states make, they do so with the mandate having been secured from their governments as well as from their heads of states and governments. So that should not distract us away from the substantive issues that are discussed, as well as the broader declarations that are agreed upon.
French President Emmanuel Macron, Chinese Premier Li Qiang and U.S. Secretary of Treasury Janet Yellen also attended the session. World leaders met as the globe is grappling with a myriad of challenges like the rising cost of living, the climate change and the sluggish global economy. Khumalo, SABC News, Johannesburg.